Welcome to On Air with Kate Butler, where we are revealing life's best kept secrets. Welcome back to On Air with me, Kate Butler, where we are revealing life's best kept secrets. So today we are revealing best kept secrets around everything PR, you got it, public relations, publicity, and we are with the best of the best. I cannot wait to introduce you to my friend, Selena Soo, who is here with us today to dive into everything she can share with us around how we take our message and we amplify it out into the world. Selena is a publicity and marketing strategist for visionary entrepreneurs, experts, and authors who want to reach millions with their message. If you don't know who she is, let me tell you a little bit about what she can do for you. She has helped clients and students get featured in places like the Oprah Magazine, yes, of course, Forbes and Inc., and land interviews on popular podcasts and national TV. That is fun. Many of Selena's clients have also become industry leaders with 6- and 7-figure businesses, raving fan bases, which is super duper important, and hundreds of thousands of followers. I know this firsthand because I know a lot of these people. Selena is the real deal. She's coming to us right now from Puerto Rico. She just made me so jealous. I'm here like with my fireplace and my sweater. She's like, it's warm here. And I'm like, I'm so jelly. So welcome, Selena, to On Air. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Kate, for that beautiful introduction.
Yeah, of course. I am super excited to have you today because I am so excited to share you with our audience. We have authors and entrepreneurs and just people even really just starting out with their business that might not even consider themselves at this exact moment to be an entrepreneur, but it's usually because of the bridge, right? It's the bridge of like, how do I get this message out in a bigger way? So I am so excited for them to really learn more about you and what you do. So can you kick us off with like, how did you even get started in publicity?
Yeah, so I got started because when I was in my mid-20s, I had a quarter life crisis. At the time, I was working at a nonprofit. I was making about $42,000 a year, but I know deep down that I was meant for something more, something bigger. At the same time, I was also struggling with my self-esteem, became clinically depressed, and I was having trouble eating, having trouble getting out of bed in the mornings. And things got so bad that my mom flew from Vancouver, Canada to New York City to be by my side, to make sure I was putting food into my body, to make sure I was getting on the subway. And there were times when I just felt like I was this schoolgirl with my mom, like taking me to school. And I remember saying to a friend, I can't keep living my life like this. I can't keep feeling this way. Do you know someone who can help me? And she said, yes, I do know someone who can help you. And it was a female life coach. And she had this group program. And, through that program and through her, I got introduced to all these, new ideas, these experts, these authors, these thought leaders. And that's when I realized that when people were struggling and suffering, just like I was, we don't just need more information, we also need more inspiration. And to me, there is nothing more inspiring than someone who I call a role model, but someone who has gone through a challenging experience and come out the other side of it. Because in life, all of us are going to struggle, whether we are in a toxic relationship, or we need to heal our health, or we feel lost with our life purpose. And so I think it's just so powerful to get these important messages, ideas out there. And when I would ask my friends, have you heard of this person and that person? Because their ideas are changing my life. Most of the time, my friends had no idea who I was even talking about. So that also dawned on me that sometimes the people with the most powerful story, message, idea, product, or service are that best kept secret. And so that's when I really fell in love with publicity, because I didn't want these people to be a best kept secret. I just think publicity is such a powerful tool to get your message out there.
Yeah, I mean, you 100% nailed it, right? Because that's why we do this. That's why you do what you do. That's why we have this podcast. That's why you are helping these clients, because there are a lot of best kept secrets out there. And it's like, okay, we all just have to share what has changed our life, what has inspired us, right? What has gotten us through these tough times or gotten us to the next level in our career, whatever that may be. And what you're doing is, what I'm hearing from you, is that you help people get that message out there. Do you also help people craft a message? Is that part of what you do, Selena?
Yeah, well, we help people in our Impacting Millions program finesse their messaging, their story ideas, their pitches.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely.
I love that. How do you define publicity? Like, tell me a little bit. If someone's out
Yeah,
there going like, what is this that we're talking about here? Help me.
yeah, no, it's so important to define it. So, publicity is all about getting your message out on other people's platforms, right? So we have our own platforms, we have our own newsletter list, we have our own social media channels. But if we're the only person saying, hey, I'm amazing at what I do, right? That message is only going to mean so much and go so far. We need other people talking about us. We need to be seen in other places, right? Whether it is magazines and TV or on the radio or on podcasts, or maybe it's even on someone else's social media channel and they're doing like an IGTV interview with us, or maybe we are invited to be a guest expert in someone's program, right? Those are all publicity opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And and it's beautiful to cross-pollinate audiences, right? And to be able to share your, kind of favorite connection of the moment, if you will, with your audience, but vice versa, right? Because there is that beautiful reciprocal relationship that happens there when you are featured on someone else's media, they see you and you can share it as well. So I love that. Now, who is this for? Because right now I'm thinking to myself as I'm listening to you, probably someone out there is listening, going, is she talking to me? Like, am I able to do this? Because it sounds really good, but who is it that you exactly help?
Yeah. So who I help? So I help people that are personal brand based businesses, right? They are the face of the business or their business has a powerful story connected to a personal brand. So it's everyone from experts, authors, entrepreneurs, typically people with a product or service that they really think can enhance the quality of someone else's life. And I think that sometimes people think, okay, if I want to get publicity, if I want to work with Selena or anyone to help me raise my profile, I need to have hit certain financial milestones in my business, or I need to be an internet superstar. Maybe I need a
Right.
book. And that's the reason why I would start to get publicity. And the thing is that we can actually start to get publicity very early on in our business. You start your business because you have a personal story, a message, right? A reason that you feel so inspired to help other people. So the publicity can be around that. If you are helping clients one-on-one in groups, workshops, or even pro bono, you are supporting people with your ideas and your advice. That same information can be shared through publicity, but just reaching more people at once. And, I think that if we're looking to make our biggest impact in the world, a big part of that is reaching more people. And, we can have like a one-on-one conversation with someone that can still be super meaningful and powerful. But if that is the only way you're sharing your message, it's going to take a long time to reach thousands, tens of thousands, or millions of people. But the cool thing with media is you can have like an incredible podcast interview, and there could easily be several hundred, if not several thousand, or many more listening to that one conversation. You're really touching the hearts and minds of so many people at once. And so I think as entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, we know it's important to create leverage in our business. And so this is a way that you can create leverage around your message. And there's so many great things that you can do to get your work out there. But what I like about publicity is it's relatively fast. There's certain things that can take a long time to maybe build that authority. And with publicity, you could, if you learn the tools, you could theoretically get publicity in a matter of weeks. And that publicity opens up doors to other opportunities. Like I know a lot of people who have maybe written really powerful guest posts and they've got their message out there through publicity. And then someone's like, hey, I would love to offer you a book deal, or, hey, like you should apply, to be on the TED stage, or, maybe there are brand partnership opportunities that open up through publicity. So it really enhances all of your other marketing and visibility efforts.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And the leverage is a great point, but also really pointing out like how it can open up those other doors to other things, and use that as a stepping stone. I think it's fantastic. So you mentioned earlier, right when we came on, about your, actually being vulnerable with us, which I really appreciate, about, when you were in a place of feeling, depressed or insecure, right? Like about this message. And I feel like that's very relatable. A lot of people, although they may want their messaging out in a bigger way, they can feel a little bit insecure about how to bring that out into the world. So how would somebody overcome maybe that fear of being seen or being more visible? Is that something that you can speak to?
Yeah, I can. So, I mean, in addition to that story, another big story that I released, and I don't even know if you are familiar with it, Kate, but I want to talk about it a little bit. So, a year ago, I broke my silence and I talked about how I had left an emotionally abusive relationship with a romantic partner who was inside my business. And it's really scary to share those kinds of stories because I get it. We're like, well, what are people going to think? Like, how could she be so stupid and find herself in this situation? And, there's so many things that can concern us around sharing whatever our personal story is. And I don't believe that we have to share every kind of shameful story or skeleton in our closet. But I think that sometimes our soul knows that this is a story that is meant to be shared. And for me, even though it's outside of the realm of like traditional publicity, the reason why I started my business, the reason why I help people elevate their messages is because I think that, there are stories that can change people's lives. In some cases, our stories could even save someone's life. And there were people that wrote to me saying, Selena, I have the exact same story, just different details. Or, I will never forget the way I felt when I heard your story. I felt so seen. I felt less ashamed about, the situation that I'm in. And so I think it is so important to share our stories. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that it's easy, but I think on the other side of things that can feel scary for us is a sense of freedom. And for, in business and life, so many of the things that are the scariest to us, like maybe the first time that we price and package our products and services, that's scary. Will anyone buy what I have to offer? Sales calls, right? Those things can be scary. But what was once so scary over time can actually feel very empowering to share with other people. And, when I talk to people about publicity, when I think about also why I'm motivated to even get publicity for myself, it's not because the people are looking to be like, hey, look at me, this is like just to stroke my ego. Oftentimes we're doing this and it's a form of it's an act of courage. It's an act of bravery. But we're doing it because we know that we can help so many more people. And so, also there is a tendency for us to be perfectionists. We don't want to mess up. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I've got the right personality for publicity, for visibility, whatever it is, to step on that bigger stage. But, I just asked myself at the end of an interview, did I show up and with presence? Was I generous with my knowledge? Did I share something that could maybe improve the quality of someone's life or connect with their heart? And if the answer is yes, then I did a great job. And so I'm just excited for everyone listening to really seriously think about putting themselves out there in a bigger way and doing the things that feel scary, because on the other side of them, there is so much freedom and possibility.
Yes. Nailed it. All of those things. I did read that article a year ago. I also saw that you were recently speaking on that in, I thought, a media.
On TV, actually.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that opportunity, which I can understand was not easy to share, that was a very vulnerable, I'm calling it an article. I don't know if that's the right.
Yeah, with the article. Yeah.
Okay. And it was an article. It read like a page of your diary. That's how it read to me. Right. Which isn't easy to do. It's not easy to write a story like that, write a chapter in a book, or, write something that's going to be published in a magazine that really feels like I am reading a piece of your journal. Right. So that touched me deeply, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. And I thank you so much for sharing that. I know that absolutely had to have shifted lives, which obviously is the number one goal for so many people out there. Like, the only reason I'm sharing this is so that I didn't go through this in vain, and that I can help someone else through my story, right? Through my work, through my message, so that they know about what I do in the world, so that I can help them, take these 5 shortcuts, and they don't have to suffer the way that I did, and so on. Right. So that's a big piece for a lot of people of why they would put themselves out there. So it sounds like to you, it also led to other openings in publicity where you could then go on to help even more people through this TV opportunity. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think that, with our stories, like, there's universal messages that they carry, because sometimes we think like, oh, we're the only person dealing with this, or how could she go through that? And so for me, like a big part of like sharing my story is I wanted to go really deep because I wanted someone to understand what it felt like to be in the situation.
Yeah.
And it was actually even clarifying to me, like, why did I stay as long in that relationship? Why did I make certain decisions? Like when you really kind of understand what someone's lived experience is like. And also, I think all of us, can fall prey to toxic relationships. It's not just romantic relationships. It can be, with a business partner. It could sometimes be, unfortunately, within our own families, with colleagues, with clients, and so forth. So yeah, I was really excited to share it in a much bigger way. And, typically I do a lot of podcast interviews and things like that, because that's a way that I can go really deep. With TV, they tend to be shorter interviews.
Yeah, sure.
Millions of people are reached at once. And it was, just so exciting to be able to talk about that topic and know that like, wow, millions of people are hearing me talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a wonderful article, wonderful interview. And so, I will ask you before we dive into something that the audience is going to be able to take away. What do you believe is the best kept secret that you have learned along the way, either personally or professionally?
What is the best kept secret? Like a piece of advice or?
Yeah, like something you learned along the way that you didn't know coming in, that was like a game changer for you, either in business or in your personal growth and development.
That's such a good question. I think when I started my business, I thought so much about like, okay, the way that I'm going to add value to people is by teaching them things, right? Giving them tools and steps to reach certain goals, like getting publicity in their business and, this and that. And now that actually this year in June, my business will be turning 10. So it's a huge milestone. And one thing that I really realize is people don't just care about, what you do, they care about who you are, right? And how you are truly embodying your message. And I think that there was definitely, for a long time in my life, because I am that achiever, right? Where it's always like, what's the next goal? What's the next goal? But it's also like, are you enjoying your life? There were times in my life where I would be like saying like, I love my work so much, yet why was I always crying, right? I was so stressed. I was pushing myself so hard. I wasn't taking good care of myself. And so, today, like I've made some big leaps in my business. I moved from New York City to Puerto Rico, and that's part of creating my dream life. Actually, for those who are watching the video, I have my guiding principles that I wrote. And my number one guiding principle is to prioritize peace above all else, which was not my priority before. It was just like hustle, hustle, push and push. But when I think about my life, I think about, with the relationships inside of my life, are they peaceful relationships, right? With my friends, with my clients, with my team. And of course, sometimes things come up, we have to work through them. But the primary state of a relationship should be one of peace versus one of chaos or confusion or working things out. When I look at my business model, like, is my business model peaceful? Are my client relationships peaceful? Am I just like loving my life? And so I think that one of the ways that we can make our greatest impact, it's not even by, using words and like telling people this and that, it's just by being it. So I feel like I'm proud of the person that I've become over the years that I've done that personal development work. And I think when I'm like supporting these leaders and getting their message out into the world, yes, it's definitely those takeaways, but it's also what they embody through who they are as a person.
Absolutely. So speaking of who you are as a person, you've been so generous with what you are going to offer our audience today. And this is your 12-month publicity calendar. But can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I really would love for everybody to kind of understand how special this is. And I really would invite everyone to take advantage of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have it right here. So this is my 12-month publicity calendar. So it's over 40 pages worth of publicity tips, story ideas, and special dates and hooks to get into the media. So every single month of the year, it's going to prompt you on ways you can get into the media. Because the thing is, the media, each month, there are certain types of story ideas, themes that they are really looking for. And so it kind of takes the guesswork out of what should I share with the media? How do I, become relevant to the media? So I'm so excited for people to check it out. There's just so many, tools and tricks and resources for them to get publicity. They can get it at impactingmillions.com/Kate Butler calendar. So all one word, impactingmillions.com/Kate Butler calendar. And people use this not just to map out their publicity plans, but even to think about their social media planning and their newsletter planning. And, my team and I, we put over 40 hours worth of work into creating this really beautiful digital calendar for everyone so that you don't have to. So it's definitely a time saver. I know that all entrepreneurs need to save time, so you can go ahead and check it out at impactingmillions.com/Kate Butler calendar.
That is phenomenal. I mean, it is an extremely, extremely generous tool that you can plug into at any time and just say, okay, right? Like I have a launch coming up and, I gotta, pre-launch right before this is all happening. And I need to talk about this. And what do I say? What do I do? How does it fit in? Right. And Selena has created all of this for us, which is absolutely phenomenal. I have one last question for you that I really would like to make sure that we cover before our time concludes, which is you've mentioned this impacting millions, right? And so can you tell us really how can we get into your world? Like, how do you serve people in this way and really support them through them bringing their message out to impact millions?
Yeah, absolutely. So just one time a year, I offer my signature publicity program, which is Impacting Millions. It's a year-long program. And, I really help people figure out, what does their custom publicity strategy look like? Because it's going to be different if you're selling, an incredible $20 book or an amazing $10,000 coaching package, right? There's going to be different opportunities that make sense for you. And then really helping people get clear on, okay, what makes me different and unique? What's going to get the media's attention? What are the stories I can share? And how to get into all the different types of media. And I would say what makes Impacting Millions really different is that it's a group coaching program where there is so much support from even, we help people with, their media bios. We have copy editors on our team that will help you finesse your media bio. We have regular coaching calls to finesse your messaging, your story ideas, your pitches. There are quarterly check-ins with me. And as a group, I'm making sure that you are staying on track with your publicity goals. We have live get stuff done sessions where we're making sure you're focusing on those needle moving activities. So there's just a lot of support. So yeah, for those that feel called to play a bigger game and get their message out there, I highly encourage they check out Impacting Millions. And when they sign up for the publicity calendar, they will get notified when doors open that one time per year.
Amazing. And where can we find you on social? Where do you play the most?
Yes, Instagram. I would love for people to follow me. I'm at Selena, SELENA_Soo, and just say hi. And I would be so honored if you let me know, hey, I listened to your interview with Kate Butler and I just wanted to say hello. It's always so great to know, where people heard of me, and it would be so fun to connect.
Amazing. So we have an invitation for Instagram, connecting, saying hi, getting into Selena's world. We have an invitation for a phenomenal publicity calendar. You must download, get this in your swirl because this is going to be a game changer for you. And when that opens up and when you immediately start to see how phenomenal this is, how generous Selena is with her information, and also what amazing content she delivers, I really would invite you to also check out Impacting Millions to take it to the next level. Selena, thank you so much for being here today. You have given us so much to work with, so much to think about, and so many beautiful ways to connect into your world. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Kate.
It's been amazing. Thank you everyone for listening today, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for listening today. I would love to connect with you on social, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Kate Butler Books. If you're interested in accessing some life-changing tools and techniques, you can grab those right off of the homepage of my website for free, and that is katebutlerbooks.com. And you can always check back here to download new episodes from our podcast right here where you listen today. Until next time, thank you for making this world a better place just by being you.